This is 70s Sitcom Flashback, the show that looks back at the sitcoms that defined the 1970s. Your hosts are Robbie and Terry, both 15. Every week they break it down so you actually get it.
Welcome to the show that looks back at the sitcoms that defined the 1970s. I'm Terry.
And I'm Robbie, and today we're talking about The Odd Couple, two grown men sharing an apartment and somehow making it work.
Spoiler, they do not really make it work, and that is exactly why it's hilarious.
Felix Unger and Oscar Madison. One guy irons his napkins, the other uses his napkins as a plate.
The show ran from 1970 to 1975, 5 full seasons on ABC, which is a pretty solid run.
It was based on a Neil Simon play from 1965, which means this whole mess started on Broadway before it hit your living room.
Tony Randall played Felix, the neat freak, and Jack Klugman played Oscar, the human pile of laundry.
Those two had chemistry that you honestly cannot fake. They actually became close friends in real life.
Which is kind of sweet, considering Felix and Oscar spend every episode on the verge of a complete breakdown.
Felix cries a lot, like professionally. He's the original dramatic bestie.
And Oscar is a sports writer who treats his apartment like a crime scene he's comfortable living in.
The genius of the show is that neither guy is really the villain. They're both just deeply, sincerely themselves.
Neil Simon said the whole idea came from watching two divorced friends move in together and immediately drive each other insane.
Relatable. Extremely relatable. My older brother and I share a room, and I get it.
The show was nominated for multiple Emmy Awards, and Tony Randall actually won one in 1975 for Outstanding Lead Actor.
He beat out a seriously stacked field, which tells you how good he was at playing a man who stress clans.
Felix is always reorganizing Oscar's stuff, and Oscar is always reorganizing it 5 minutes later.
It's basically a philosophical debate about whether chaos or order is the natural state of the universe, played for laughs.
The show tackled some surprisingly real topics too: divorce, loneliness, starting over in middle age.
Which sounds heavy, but Simon wrapped it in so many jokes you barely noticed you were having feelings.
Both characters were divorced dads trying to figure out their lives, which was kind of unusual territory for a sitcom back then.
Most sitcoms were showing perfect families with perfect houses. The Odd Couple showed two middle-aged guys eating cereal for dinner.
Honestly, more realistic than most things on television at the time.
The poker game scenes with their friends Murray, Speed, Roy, and Vinny became almost as iconic as Felix and Oscar themselves.
Those guys were so specific and funny, Speed always complaining, Murray being hilariously gullible.
Great ensemble cast is the secret ingredient to any sitcom, and this one knew exactly what it was doing.
The show averaged around 20 million viewers per episode during its peak seasons, which is enormous by any standard.
20 million people watching two guys argue about a wet towel on the bathroom floor every week. Beautiful.
There was also a short-lived animated version and a later revival, but the original with Randall and Klugman is the one people remember.
Because those two were just lightning in a bottle, you can recast the concept, but you cannot recast that specific magic.
The theme song is also incredibly catchy, and I will be humming it for the rest of the day, so thank you, Robbie.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Neil Simon went on to be one of the most successful playwrights and screenwriters in American history, but this story really launched him into the stratosphere.
The Odd Couple proved that conflict between two people who genuinely care about each other is basically an infinite comedy machine.
Push them together, crank up their differences, and just let the sparks fly every single week.
No car chases, no monsters, no special effects, just two guys in an apartment and decades of entertainment.
That's the thing about great character writing. It doesn't need much else to hold your attention.
Felix and Oscar are still relatable today because everybody has either been the neat one or the messy one in a friendship.
Deeply, painfully true. I won't say which one I am, but my locker at school is evidence.
The Odd Couple is funny, warm, surprisingly moving, and a total classic. Go track down some episodes. You will not regret it.
Seriously, it holds up remarkably well for a show that's over 50 years old.
That's all for today. Thanks for listening, and see you next week on 70s Sitcom Flashback.